All right, here we go. Bang. Hi, guys. We got Radium and Ninja Gamer so far. Good to see you, boys. My place is a mess. High key, my place is a mess. I was going to clean today, but then I remembered that I needed to change the gym. You know, the one that I own and am responsible for, and the course has been the same for about a month now. So I changed it today. It took about 6.5 hours. It was exhausting. No, not 6.5. About 5.5. 5.5. I did the math wrong there because I started at 11:30 and I ended at 5:10, something like that. I'm sore and I got like scrapes and bruises. Um, yeah. Barbados home. Yeah, this room is it's a really nice room. I have a bathroom right there, my own bathroom over there. It's pretty sick. Um, but also like the way my entire life is stacked into one room is a big reason why the podcast for TSN is just not it's just not freaking recorded. Like we don't do video. We do um audio only. Cuz like Evan records in his basement, Billy records in his bedroom, and I'm recording in a guest room. So, not great. Anyways, um we're going to jump right into it. I hope everyone's doing well today. We are going to jump right into it. I'm just going to make sure that everything's good on the stream itself to where you guys can see this. Jeez. Had a bit of a sneeze. Okay. So, I'm going to sneeze again. I'm going to sneeze again. Okay. I'm not going to sneeze. All right. So, what I'm thinking of doing every month, every Sunday stream, is a Ninja News Roundup where I, you know, you ate moldy bread by accident. Wow, what a start to the stream we're getting today, guys. It's kind of nuts. Actually, hold on. Why can't I see the chat? What? Why can't I see the chat when I share when I go to the PowerPoint? Okay, let's go here and then let's go here. Okay, so now you guys should pull up on the stream when I do this. What's up, Gonto? All right. Now we can get going. For those who remember, we're doing Ninja News Roundups. We're going to try this again. All right. Ninja News Roundups started about 5 years ago when I had my own channel called Ninja World News, where I would just talk about international ninja stuff. And it was part of a school project, but I really did enjoy it, and it's what got me into YouTube. And yeah, that was something that I think people kind of enjoyed. We did it on TSN for a little bit. No one really watched it on TSN in comparison to the other videos, so we just kind of stopped it. But this is going to be different. This is a stream. I'm going to update you guys on what's going on in the ninja world, but I'm going to make it a little more fun. We're going to be more open discussion. We're going to, yeah, let's just get right into it. How this works. We'll talk about the shows. We'll give our opinions on it. You guys can obviously share stuff in the chat for me to also react to and talk about. We'll talk about it, and then we'll move on. Then we talk about Ninja Leagues, and we do the same thing. And there's a good chance, if you're not watching Ninja Leagues, I will probably tell you that you should watch Ninja Leagues. That's how this is going to work. This stream can go on for as long or as short as you guys want. So, with that said, get a little closer to the mic. We're going to start with Ninja Shows. This is the production status of all 2026 Ninja Shows. There are 2 currently airing, and that's the Sasuke Junior Cup 2 and NSC Elimination. Both of these are not actually on TV, but they are very much their own shows slash ninja series. The Sasuke Junior Cup 2 is on the Sasuke YouTube channel. It comes out every Friday in Japan, so like Thursday night over here in Barbados or the east coast of the US. We're about an hour apart. Um, and it's like they race each other. And this year, the round of 16 and the quarterfinals are on a race course, and the final four are going to be racing up their own mini Midoriyama, which is a good twist. There's a lot of top competitors' children as well. Nagano's son was just featured in the most recent episode. His younger son, or third youngest, I guess. Pre-discussion thoughts: Super Ninja Kids 3 will be the greatest ninja show. Oh my gosh, whatever. Hioki Sunran, Kano Sunran. Next episode is the youngest female Black Tiger running. That'll be next episode. There's 40 competitors, and they're running for a spot in the top 16. I think currently Hioki's kid is pretty safe. Nagano's kid is borderline on like it's like two or three more people of the 6 runners left in episode 4. They're gonna have to choke. They're gonna have to choke in order to ensure that Nagano makes the top 16. And I think Kano's son just got eliminated or is about to be. Like his time wasn't great. Definitely the worst of those 3. What's up, John? Jandal. Yeah, a lot of sons ran. Yeah. They gave Nagano's son like one of the most fire edits of the Junior Cup. It was hilarious. And then NSC Elimination for fans of ANW's Boot Camp is produced by Chris DeGangi, Ethan Swanson, and Ryan Stratus with their league called NSC. Ethan Swanson's no longer attached. He stepped away so he could focus more on his gym. But this is like the last thing that he helped produce with the NSC. They got 10 men and 10 women, and they competed in a boot camp. Pretty much, the first episode is free on YouTube, but every other episode comes out on Wednesdays on Patreon. So I'm actually not watching this right now. I am waiting until everything releases so that way I can just buy the Patreon once and watch, like binge watch everything instead of have to pay, month after month after month. That's me personally. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's entertaining, but like based off the first episode, it's not something that I would say like, wow, I'm going to pay $5 a month for the next 5 months for this to be released. I don't know how long it'll be. Maybe not 5 months, but probably like another 3 or so. Like it just started in December. So did someone wind their way out of the ropes and then get a job in EA? That's a crazy reference. No one is Patrick Cusick. The interesting thing is they invited people based off of their performance in the most recent NSC finals. So like these guys are actually competitors and stuff. Yeah. All right. So that's what's currently airing. Also, shout out. We'll just talk about it later. There are 2 shows that are either filming or have wrapped filming or will be filming. Super Ninja Kids 3 recently announced, I think, honestly, like on Thursday or Wednesday, that season 3 is officially complete with filming. And we haven't seen too much of the course. We haven't seen too much about a release date, but chances are it will come out in either March or April. It typically comes out within that range, so we can expect an announcement probably in the next month or so. And then Ninja Warrior Germany 11 is filming in the spring as well. They're filming in April or May. I want to say it's May. I think it's May from what I heard. And I'm misremembering, which is very unfortunate because someone literally spoke to me about it this past week. But yes, It will be filming in April or May. Also, something that is already 2 seasons have already filmed and are just waiting to be released. That's Poland season 12. Um, season 12 of Ninja Warrior Poland was filmed in the fall of 2025, back to back with season 11. And season 11 dropped in the fall. Season 12 is dropping probably in the spring based off of their release patterns. And then ANW 18 filmed in September of last year. Of course, we can probably expect it like late May, early June, as it normally premieres within that range. So, yeah. Starts on May 18th. Thank you, Fabi. Fabi, did you get the call? Please tell me you got the call. You better have been selected. Yeah, we're on ANW 18, K Fly. Oh, let me move the chat. I just realized like the chat's high key covering all of the stuff that like is yeah. Okay. Switch. Oh, wait, not back. There we go. Need to go back to the PowerPoint first. There we go. The presentation. Poland 12 is gonna. They didn't give calls out so far. Okay, that's good to know. And then casting wise, there are 3 shows actively casting, and if you told me that the 3 shows were from Israel, Russia, and Iran, I would have laughed. I cannot believe this right now. Israel season 6 has been talked about for a while. It was a hugely popular show. And ultimately, like, it stopped because of COVID. No, not because of COVID. What? They went through COVID like nothing. They stopped because they went to war, right? Not gonna get political here. We don't need to do that here. But common sense, like I side with common sense on who I support in this war. K-Fly, that's a really crazy thing to put on the internet. Super Ninja 5, no surprise, it's one of the most popular shows in Russia right now. Applications are open for season 5. I personally am pretty excited because I might apply for this one. But this also might be filming in August around the same time as the Barbados Ninja Throwdown. And my commitments are definitely to the Throwdown just because, yeah. That's just, I mean, it's where I am literally in the world right now. It's a good chance for Israel to be a worse ninja show than they already are. You know, I'm actually very, very curious about how the people are going to perform because in the 3 years that this show has been off the air, right? The sport has exploded in Israel. Israel is one of 2 countries where Ninja Warrior is an official sport that gets government funding. They have official leagues and like yeah, they get to travel out to anything because like the athletes can be pro athletes. So with that, a lot of the pros who are very fast, very strong, very explosive, they literally get to like their work is to go out and train ninja, you know, besides being in the military right now for obvious reasons. But they're either like in the military or they're just training ninja. And it's like that's a crazy combo. The talent has definitely skyrocketed. I would argue it's like tripled at minimum since season 5. So I am very curious to see how the results are going to play out this time around because I think it's going to put a lot of people who are only known through the leagues, it's going to put them on the map for like casual viewers. Garamon 3 is Iran. Yeah, so again, Israel, Russia, and Iran. That's a crazy lineup. Garamon is a ninja versus ninja racing show. What I like about their show is that every round you progress through the bracket, they add 1 or 2 obstacles. So that way the course gets a little longer and it's different. It's not the same results every time because maybe someone who's faster on the first half is slower on the second half. I personally really enjoyed that. On the other hand, they did make people do the water walls and then gave them a fresh pair of shoes to run the warped wall right after. That was a choice. That was something. They last did their season 2, in 2024. They did not have a season last year, so I thought it was canceled. In fact, even Bonzu thought it was canceled. Shout out Bonzu. A lot of people thought that this show was done because it apparently just wasn't pulling like amazing numbers ratings wise. Like it was doing fine, but it was expendable. It was in an expendable position. But apparently it's back, and casting just opened literally yesterday on January 31st. So that could be fun. That could be something. The profile pieces run for pretty long, but the races themselves are actually very entertaining. It's one where I genuinely I might consider applying because I want to race, but getting to the races on A&W is very difficult. Whereas with Gotterimon, round 1 is a race. You know, it's just a full on, yeah. So sure, Yandel, shout out you, yeah. I'm not sure if they'll allow internationals to Gotterimon this year. It's kind of 50-50 because last year was the first year where they had international competitors. They had people mainly from Ninja Warrior Germany and Poland. And then they just pulled a bunch of other like parkour athletes or calisthenics people from other countries that don't have ninja. So, yeah. No, it's like I don't know. That could be a possibility that I could maybe apply or something. But also, that was during 2024 when the Olympics were happening. It was an Olympic year. I don't know if it's going to be the same now that there's no Olympics this year. I mean, there's the Winter Olympics, but I don't think they're counting that. Am I applying to Sasuke Jr.? No, I'm not Drew Dreschel. All right. We interrupt this program to acknowledge our sponsor, the Sasuke Nerds Podcast. Available on YouTube and Spotify. The first 2 episodes are out, featuring myself, Billy, and Evan from the Sasuke Nerds. It's a very, very fun podcast. We have 2 episodes out. The first one was a review of Sasuke 43. The second one, we had Josh Levin on. This 3rd episode, which I am currently editing and I will probably have done tomorrow. It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. You bought premium. Can you skip this ad? I'm dead. But for real, go check it out because we talk about ninja, but then we try to talk about not just ninja. And next week we have a someone who achieved total victory on a Ninja Warrior show before, and like at one point they went on a side tangent with Billy about anime. Like it's just the vibes, you know? So definitely go give it a listen. It's a great time, and it comes out every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So for most of you, by the time you're awake on your Friday mornings, it will be out. You can listen to it in the car. It's audio only. You're not missing anything by not looking at your phone. Please don't watch a video and drive. Listen to it audio only on YouTube or Spotify. When are we interviewing Nagano? He's our next guest. Duh. That's what we said at the end of last episode. So, yeah. All right, now moving on to the leagues. There are a couple of... leagues are a little different. I can't present them the same way as shows because they're not really in like different stages of production. They just kind of exist, and they're either in season or they're not in season. So things that happen in January, NSC is nearing the finals. They do 8 qualifiers every year, every season, and this weekend was the 7th of 8. The NSC finals are kind of the Super Bowl for American ninjas, in the sense that, it's only the best athletes in the country and throughout the United States and Canada, because a lot of Canadians show up, and it gets very competitive. The courses get absolutely wild, and yeah, definitely should check it out. When are you interviewing? I don't know who that is. K-Fly. WNL All-Stars wrapped. For anyone who cares about WNL like that, the All-Stars weekend was January 18th and 19th, where basically anyone who placed top 3 in a qualifier got to come together to run 2 separate courses. Their combined total throughout both courses led to a final score, and the top 4 people got to qualify for the World Championships halfway through the season instead of having to do it at the end of the season. Um, they're fun. I had a lot of friends who competed in it. It was a good time. So, yeah. And then TNA Season 2's schedule was revealed. TNA is the Team Ninja Association. It's a league run by A&W veterans Zach Eichenstein and Josiah Papel. People get into teams of 3 to 5. I think they're expanding to 5 people per team this year. And every team is sponsored, and they've announced some big changes. They all battle each other out, relay style, not head to head, not side by side, but they take turns on the course in different sections. There's a speed section, there's a tech section, and there's a endurance section. And they battle it out for points. It was honestly my personal favorite league of the year to watch last season, which probably isn't saying much because a lot of them aren't presented the best. But I'm also very, very excited for this one because TNA genuinely feels like a sporting event. Like the same way that like I sit down and I'll watch a basketball game because I'm a Lakers fan. I'll watch a basketball game or maybe a football game or whatever, and I'll talk with my buddies or I'll talk with my dad if I'm watching with my dad, right? And like we'll talk about the players, we'll talk about what has to happen in the game, what moving parts there are in the competition. There's commentary, there's blah blah blah, there's replays. TNA pretty much does that, and they only last about 2.5 to 3 hours, so it's really quick, relatively speaking, especially for ninja comps, because some ninja comps go on for like 12 hours. It's insane. I would absolutely recommend you guys watch TNA. There's going to be a lot of big names, assuming that people are returning. And the schedule revealed that, there's a lot happening actually. The first TNA qualifier will be on February 15th. That is in 2 weeks. I will probably be doing watch parties of this on my Discord server because I really enjoyed doing that last year as well. So chances are we will be doing that. We might be doing something for the TSN podcast about TNA. And by might, I mean we definitely are. I just can't go into full detail about that yet. In other news, the last Women's Ninja Association qualifier will be February 7th and 8th. That is next weekend. The Women's Ninja Association is exactly what it sounds like. It's an all-female ninja league. And they run 2 courses for combined totals to qualify for the finals. The finals will be in March, but the last opportunity to qualify is next week. I'm pretty excited. It's at a gym called Crescent City, which I'm not super familiar with, so I'm excited to kind of see how it's operated over there and what the layout looks like. But so far, the last 3 qualifiers that have happened have been pretty entertaining, and I really enjoy it. Megan Budway puts a lot of time and effort into it. It's her league alongside Jennifer Sanders. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. Even if you're not one to watch the qualifiers, I would definitely recommend tuning into the finals in March. That'll be a good one. The last NSC qualifier will be on February 21st and 22nd. That is the last opportunity for people to qualify for the finals. It is at Big Time, which is Ethan Swanson's gym. Like I said, he stepped out of NSC's production in order to properly focus on making the gym the best quality it can be. And with that, I have high expectations. It's a huge gym, and it's a very cool looking place. They always have some pretty interesting stuff out there. Ethan designed some wild stuff. So absolutely would say I'm pretty stoked about that one, and I can't wait to see who's gonna walk away with the win, who's not. Got banned during LTLC. I'm dead. And then WNAG starts on February 28th. WNAG is a very interesting one. It's not one that you guys would know about because they don't really air this. It's not like a broadcast thing. WNA, TNA, and NSC, they'll all be live on their own YouTubes and stuff like that. You can search them up on YouTube. WNAG isn't like that. It stands for World Ninja Athlete Games. And pretty much, these guys make... It's UNAA, okay? And I don't really like UNAA because I think systematically they're just not the greatest. Their world championships are known for causing a lot of injuries and not being high quality or safe. So I'm not really a huge fan of that. But I always thought the concept of WNAG was very interesting. They get about 15 obstacles, very basic obstacles that you'll find at a gym: quad steps, rings, a balance tank, cliffhangers, lache bars, jumping bars, things like that, a rope climb. And because all of these gyms have this equipment, it's like standard ninja stuff you need to have in your gym. They all run the same course around the world. And so that way you can globally rank how you do on the course against every other participant from different countries. I think that's really cool. And it goes on for like a week pretty much only, so you get one shot to really like go for it within like a 10-day period, or I think this time it's like a 12-day period. So I think that stuff's very interesting. Um if I were to do well in it, I would qualify for UNAA or something like that. I wouldn't go, you know, unless someone paid me to go, but no one's paying me to go anywhere. But I'm actually considering doing this one because I guess there's another spot in Barbados that wants to do this. And I'm all for it because I need to do competitions. The last competition I did was in October, and I don't want the next competition I do to be the World Championships in June. I want to, get a little bit of competition experience under my belt again, shake off the rust before I do Worlds, just so I know that I'm still in that competitive mode. Um, but I'm curious about this one because I've never actually gotten to do it, but I've always thought on paper it sounds like a good concept. And now I might be doing it, so we'll see. Now, there are 3 surprises of the month. I'm going to be doing this every single news roundup. There are going to be 3 big surprises of the month. First surprise is that Ninja Warrior France Season 10 might not be happening. They currently cannot find a time to fill in their regular spot in 2026. It's either booked or it's pretty much booked. So they don't actually have a time for filming. There are currently no plans to film Season 10 of Ninja Warrior France, which is very unfortunate. Maybe 2027, but at the same time, the show also hasn't necessarily been renewed. They haven't been picked up for another season. And I mean, I have very mixed feelings on that. I really enjoy Ninja Warrior France. I've really enjoyed seasons, especially seasons 3 to 5, parts of 6, and seasons 8 and 9. And 1 and 2 are fine. But I really liked seasons 8 and 9, which are the 2 most recent seasons. And the idea of it not getting to season 10 is kind of a bummer. It's a bit sucky, you know? It would be nice to see it get further and last longer. But we'll see. I mean, there's still a chance for 2027, but at the moment, with no plans, it doesn't sound like we're getting Ninja Warrior France this year, which is a bummer. It's made podium for the last 2 straight years on my show rankings. So I also think it'd be hilarious. It would actually be hilarious. Rene Cassidy was the last winner of Ninja Warrior France, and he's German because they did an international season. I thought that was very cool. But that also means that also means that Ninja Warrior France is ending with a non-French winner. So that's kind of rough. Inui announces he will bring in more than one new obstacle for 44. I'm dead. Nah, that ain't happening. All right. Second surprise is that an NSC literally just happened. It ended like an hour before this stream started, or a little less than that. The winners were not surprising at all. For anyone who's in touch with leagues, it was Jackson Erdos and Nora Brown John. They are literally just taking as many different titles and podiums around the world as possible in these pro competitions. So no one's really surprised. But there were a lot of, people were doing flyaways and, being flashy. People were there were some big, heavy, scary falls in this competition. It is not for the faint of heart. So, yeah. This is karma for not having Clement. Yo, that's valid. That's valid. Lastly, there's a lot of junior shows nowadays. Just want to touch on that. This is going to be the year where there is the most amount of junior shows for Ninja, period, ever, all time. The record, I think, was 2 at once, something like that. Yeah, like it was 2 because A&W Junior and Germany Kids went on at the same time, and then A&W Junior and did Israel Kids go on at the same time? Like it's not a lot. This year is crazy. This year is wild. It's Sasuke Junior Cup currently airing, right? They said in the finale of Ninja Warrior Germany Kids Academy, awful show, that season 2 will be happening. They said that on air in the finale, which is kind of crazy. We're getting Super Ninja Kids, as we talked about earlier, and then something else worth noting is Flying Hero, China's ninja show for kids. It's, it's airing. And not only that, but like I didn't realize Chinese series, they go on for a long time. Season 1 isn't even like one tournament. Apparently season 1 goes on for the span of the entire year, like a full 12 months with different tournaments in between. So yeah, last year was 3, this year's 4. So Flying Hero just wrapped up its first tournament at the beginning of January. I think it was like January 3rd or 4th. So I'm not going to rank the whole season, which is probably going to be like 4 or 5 tournaments. I'm going to rank each tournament on my yearly ranking. I'm not going to review Happy Forward. It is borderline Wipeout. I can't really associate it with Ninja. That feels wrong. But it is very interesting that 4 shows are dedicated to the kids. On top of that, I mean, the age limit for A&W is now 14, right? And Barbados is editing their episodes from 2025's Throwdown, and it goes all divisions from kids up to masters, which are 40 plus athletes, right? And that means that there's more kids featured in there, right? Like there's just so many. There's so many. NSC elimination, the boot camp thing. I mean, I think some of the kids are like 14, maybe 13. Like that's crazy. Really goes to show how the sport is shifting and changing. And of course, you get kids on Sasuke, you get some kids on Kunoichi, like whatever else. But it is pretty wild how things have evolved, you know. And then finally, the iceberg count. The iceberg count is the amount of ninja things I know that I can't publicly say. There are 5 things. I know the entire press launch of Barbados Ninja Throwdown. Can't talk about it. I know the winner of A&W 18. Can't talk about it. I know something crazy about WNL. Can't talk about it. I know the rosters for Team Ninja Association. Can't talk about it yet, but they should be dropping. Those rosters should be revealed like in the next week or so, which is interesting. Yeah, man. What else? What else? What was the 5th thing? Probably something that's not as... Oh, and then stuff about Sasuke Vietnam. Yeah, which I can't talk about either. So, yeah. That's fun. And that is the Ninja News Roundup. Look at that. Look at that. 35 minutes of this whole stream. And like, now it's over. Quick and easy and painless, guys. Kind of wild. You are allowed to say so. I don't know what the course is going to be for Worlds. I don't work for WNL anymore. But I still have people I have people that tell me things about WNL still, and I know some things that they wouldn't want to have public. Out of respect for that, I'm not going to make it public, but it is kind of wild. Do you know who competing on Vietnam or the format? Can you say Vietnam 6 is a lock for this year? It is really. So that's the thing that I probably shouldn't say publicly because but I guess as well, like, they're not gonna know that I said it. Yeah, I'll just say it. Uh, Production doesn't start until mid March, and that means like even pre-production. That means like course design, casting, anything else like that. Apparently, they have their own film airing schedule and release schedule and filming schedule to go through Chinese New Year. So Sasuke Vietnam is just not a priority to them right now and won't be until March. Um, yeah. So we have to wait on Vietnam. There's really not much other information, but I am training for it as if it is happening this year and just going to keep grinding, you know? There are only two things that I know for sure are happening, you know? For me, WNL Worlds and the Barbados Ninja Throwdown. So I'm going to be as good as I can at those. They used to always air in the summer. Yeah. Yeah, but they also filmed like in around this time of year. Um Rainy season really kicks in like May to November over there. So the assumption is they'll want to film before that to avoid rain. And if not, like there's a chance that we might see this in 2027, you know? Which obviously wouldn't be great for the sake of fans and stuff like that. I personally am kind of like, okay, the more time I have to prepare and train, the better, honestly, because um ultimately, like, I think let's take a look at the Sasuke Vietnam 5 course. Man, this was in 2019. That's crazy. Okay, gonna go over the course here. Stage 1A. Okay, so 1A and 1B. That's right. They had two different paths for stage 1. Um okay. So the time limit was also 3 minutes, which is really generous. I'm looking at this right now, which would be a good year since it's the 30th. Yeah, I guess so. That would make sense. 30th anniversary. Um, so it starts with a step slider. I know I can beat the step slider. Second is roulette row. This was 2019 though, and since then the course has been auctioned off. So these obstacles don't physically exist anymore. They're gonna have to build new courses. Step slider and roulette row, I think I can handle. Spinning log is something that I can do pretty easily, but it is by far the hardest thing on stage 1A. Um, if I were to fail anything on stage 1A, it would be the spinning log just because it's the least predictable, you know? You could have great footwork and you could choke. So don't forget to factor in the DQ rules. This one's not super DQy yet. It's more stage 2 that gets really DQified. Obstacle 4 is the jumping spider, but I do remember the trampoline being very close to the actual spider. So if the hardest part is nerfed, I feel pretty good about my odds of beating it. And then it's the double warped wall, which I know I could beat. And if I have 3 minutes for this, I'm beating it within the time limit. Now, if I got put on stage 1B, the alternate path, it was step slider and roulette row, still the same thing. Hedgehog. Hedgehog's an interesting one because it's not difficult to keep your balance. It's just about keeping a steady pace and navigating. That one might be tricky just from a perception type of thing, like a perspective. When you're actually in it, is it harder? I don't know. Rope Jungle got a lot of people out actually. Like Rope Jungle. No, not actually. I'm looking at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It took out 4 people on broadcast. 5, 6. Okay, so 6. Yeah, it took out 6 people. I mean, that's rope jungle or hedgehog is probably the harder. They're probably the 2 hardest obstacles on 1B. I'm pretty confident in my ability to beat rope jungle. You just don't grab super high because the lower you grab, the more you can build up a swing from the ropes. And then it's the Tarzan swing to lumberjack climb, which I know I can do. I don't have a problem with that. Also 3 minutes. I think there's a very realistic world where I clear both versions of stage 1. I just would have to obviously treat the obstacles with respect and brush up on my footwork a little bit because I haven't gotten to do. I've been doing a lot of slow balance obstacles lately. I need to do agility, you know? I need to do fast footwork. I need to be quick with it. Okay. Stage 2, I'm probably failing. No, I'm failing stage 2. So, it starts with a cross slider, and I just have never tried it. I'm not confident in my ability to do the cross slider, you know? Yeah, it did take, it did get Matt Redho rope jungle, but it also, he was being really poor with his strategy. Cross slider, I don't know, man. It got Jamie Ron last I checked. I'm pretty sure it took out Jamie Ron. Yeah, it did. Checking the wiki right now. Cross slider it's just not a commonly used thing. You know, ninja is so much of shoulders and back and bicep explosiveness. And this is all tricep, same as drum hopper, right? But at least with drum hopper, you get to use your hips to kip yourself up and stuff. With this, it's like, oh wow, okay. So I don't know. Then it's TikTok, and I know I could beat it. It's basically double pendulum for those who are only Sasuke people. But there are some very sloppy DQ rules, which is not fun. The salmon ladder, but apparently the bars very heavy. The floating boards, which I've only ever beaten like twice in my life, so probably not beating that. Circle slider to go directly into the final climb. I think I could do that. But I'd have to get there, and getting there's the hard part. So I'd probably fail stage 2 at the moment. And then stage 3 is pole maze, crossing the river. What's crossing the river again? Is it just monkey bars? It is just monkey bars, yes. Pipe slider, but their pipe slider was super slick, super unpredictable, not great. Quality, not well built. Then it's hang climb with playground holes. But before that is like a couple poles for pole grasper. Then it's the spider flip. Then it's the crazy cliffhanger. And then it's the flying bar. And I swear the second ledge on the crazy cliffhanger, the one that you catch, is like not. It's just not good. It's not a good version at all. Where is it? Where can I find the Vietnam? Here we go. Crazy cliffhanger. The ledges are 2.5 centimeters wide. What's 2.5 centimeters to inches? It's about an inch, a little less than an inch. That's really bad. Yeah. But then in season 4, the surrounding frame at the end of the 3rd ledge was painted red, indicating where competitors were allowed to make the leap transition to the 4th ledge. Oh, that's it. Okay, so they're very small ledges. That's just so insane. And then flying bar. But so I don't know what's coming back. And then the final is a 7-meter spider climb. So what's 7 meters to feet? 23 feet. And then a 17-meter rope climb, which is a 55-meter rope climb. Yikes. I don't know. Yes, 2019 was the year everyone put floating boards into stage 2. It was insane. ultimately, like if I were to run this currently, like the season 5 course, I think I clear stage 1 as long as everything goes perfectly according to plan, or at least close to perfectly according to plan. I think I failed a cross slider or the floating boards on stage 2. Um, but we do have to remember everything from Sasuke Vietnam was auctioned off in 2023. They auctioned it away. The obstacles are, yes, 55 feet. The obstacles are no longer with us. You know, they don't exist anymore. Some of them probably got demolished. Some of them are probably being used by some rich person in their backyard or whatever. Like, whatever obstacles we get for season 6 of Vietnam are going to be made from scratch, pretty much. So I'm excited about that. I would assume that we're still getting some obstacles from the OG seasons. Like, I don't see a reason for them to not do Crazy Cliffhanger when it wasn't beaten post renewal. Like, I feel like the Crazy Cliffhanger is going to come back. I feel like there's a chance that, you know, I feel like there's a chance that the final stage will still be the same with the spider climbing rope. We'll see. Now, you joke, imagine if it's Sasuke 43. But keep in mind, okay? When Inui is in charge of a Sasuke project and he has his hands in production, he kind of Sasuke-fies everything. Look at Mongolia's stage 2. Okay, Mongolia was made in 2019, the same time as Sasuke 37. The stage 2 was the same as Sasuke 36, which came out prior. It was the stick slider, it was the salmon ladder, it was double salmon ladder, not Nobori Kudari, it was just double salmon ladder. And then spider walk, same route, backstream, conveyor, wall lift. It was the same course. The end of stage 1 was tackle and warped wall, and the beginning was quad steps. Stage 3 had sidewinder, and the ending was pipe slider. Like, there is a good chance that if Vietnam is coming back and they're having to make new obstacles and whatnot, there's a high chance that we're getting Sasuke obstacles. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if stage 1 ends with the tackle and warped wall. I really wouldn't be surprised with that at all. Stage 1 used to end with lumberjack climb, so like, what's stopping them? I wouldn't be surprised if stage 2 has backstream, and the whole like last 3 obstacles of Vietnam's stage 2. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same: backstream, conveyor, wall lift. It might be. Who knows? So honestly, I like when I'm training for Vietnam, I'm borderline training for Sasuke because I'm expecting the most overlap there. Now, I'm not training it as much as I am for like WNL. I'm definitely training more for WNL because I know it's actually happening. I don't think Screwdriver would have a shot. I don't think motorized obstacles are going to have too much of a place in Vietnam unless they get a bigger budget. But given that this is the first reboot season, you know, this is the first of the revival era. No, I don't think we're going to get motorized obstacles. I do think we're going to get a vertical limit. I'm not sure if it's going to be vertical limit or vertical limit Kai. It definitely will not be the burst. I feel like they're going to save the burst for when someone consins again to put it in there for the future. Wall lift has never been in Sasuke Vietnam. I know. But now, like, let's put it this way. Again, the last production in Asia outside of Japan that Inui got to do was Mongolia, where 75% of the course was modern Sasuke. And the other 25% was still Sasuke stuff. It was still the Gorin Hammer and the jump hang. And, like, the only non Sasuke obstacle was the swinging pegboard on stage 3. Like, yeah. So if I had to guess, because Inui will have influence over Vietnam, that's the deal that was worked out with Bonnie J, right? Inui still gets control of ninja projects in Asia, the whole continent. I feel like we're going to get a lot of the same stuff that we would get in Japan. Not entirely the same, but a lot of it being pretty close to it. So I'm preparing for Sasuke as much as I can as well. I'm still prioritizing WNL because WNL I know is actually happening. So I'm going to train for that. I'm working mostly on my tech, on my endurance, on my laches, on my agility, things like that. Obviously, that will help me anywhere I go. Barbados, Vietnam, you name it, right? And that's great. Um, but definitely in my course runs, I am also doing Sasuke esque obstacles. I'm only doing the salmon ladder as Nobori Kudari. I'm going up 4, down 3. And I do that on every stage 2 that I use in practice because it's just easier. It's just easier for me to it's more efficient. Let's put it that way. It's more efficient that I train that way. So that way I can start to like have the muscle memory ingrained in me. There's this log that is used for balance, but it's all broken and splintered. So I literally lift and press it like I'm doing the wall lift. I swim every day. Or not every day. I swim every day I work out to prep for backstream. And sometimes when I get out of the pool, I'll climb out of the pool and I'll crawl back to the other end, reverse conveyor style, and then repeat. And I'll cycle through it. Like I definitely do it. I just when I'm running courses specifically, it's very Americanized, the modern Ninja League style of courses. But I do throw things out. Some countries land in multiple continents like Russia. Do we know where they land in the Bonnie J deal? If they look, it doesn't matter. If Super Ninja has them, why would they go to Ninja Warrior? They're already going to Super Ninja, so it doesn't matter. They're basically off the board and irrelevant. I should make a map. Like those war boards where they move the pieces around, like this is in this territory, and this is by this, and this is independent, and whatever else. I feel like that would be very interesting for Ninja. I feel like that could be a very interesting one. Oh, I am sore. Today I did rigging. I need to stretch really badly. All right, guys. Unless there is anything else you would like to discuss, I am going to wrap stream. All right. Think I'm good. Guys, have a great night or day, depending on where you are in the world. I appreciate y'all. Settling in Barbados, I'm fine, I guess. It's been a lot. I just really miss my family. I really miss my family. I'm a big family guy. Um, I'm a family man, and like I said, they're super supportive. My wife, especially, she was like, "You should pursue this if this is like what you want to do as a career and everything. Like this is great, and it'd be a mistake to pass this up." And she's right. And in terms of the actual gym and all the work that I'm doing, I'm having a great time. I love the classes that I run. I like the community that's out here, and I'm happy with the growth that we've seen in the gym. But when I'm not doing ninja related things, I'm just very sad. Yeah, so it'll get better. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great, great week.